Barvotti's 70th live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will be promotional offers during the program, and the promo codes will be active during the demonstration and for about an hour after. The current time is 12 noon Central. Is this the 6th?
Yeah.
April the 6th, 2022. Right now, the promotions are only available on Amazon.com. Are we back? Hi. Okay, we're back. And I want to apologize for the 2-minute delay. We didn't, or 3-minute delay. Somehow our internet didn't connect for a few minutes, but here we are. And I should also talk about the two of these, modeler tools here. I have here the 1-inch and the 1.5 inch. And what we just heard from our suppliers is that we may not be in stock completely for the 1.5 for very long. We've got enough for the next month or so, but apparently all the factories in China that make this have shut down. And I just want to reassure you that these are very similar. We've got lots of the 1.5 inch, and all of them work quite similarly. So if you're looking to just try one, you don't have to start with the 1.5 inch. You can start with any one you want. Okay? And this is the piece of art that came at the beginning, and it's called Orange Regrets. And it's soon going to be shown in abstractartcanada.com. That's where I'll be showing them. And I just want to show you what tools were used to make this. So the final tool that I ended off with was this 2.5 inch modeler. And you can see, I can tell by looking at these what I've used, even though I did this quite a while ago. I forget the date that I did this. November 15th, 2021. So that was one of my earlier pieces. And at that time I was leaving a white border along them. I still do that occasionally, and they're signed. Now that's one of the modelers, and you can see one of the modelers we've used. It's a 2.5 inch. It's got a 2.5 inch sharp blade. That's why I could make these nice sharp marks and scrape paint and lay paint down. And the modeler is made of a compressed plastic, so it's not going to split or wear or lose paint or anything like that. I've had these for years, or some of them for years, and I've never had a problem with the handles, and they have a nice hole to hang on your hooks around your studio if you want them. So that was that one. The other mark that was made here is, I can tell exactly which one because. Can you see that? Okay, yeah, okay. Should I go in a little bit maybe? I can go in a little bit. Oops. Oh, that's because I'm in focus. Okay. I want to go zoom. Okay, here we go. So here's this little tool, and I will focus on it right now. It should go in focus. There it is. So you'll notice that it's got teeth cut out of it, or chunks cut out of it, so that it will leave a specific mark. And if you look down here, right here, that mark shows. And that's why I can make these nice parallel lines. So I call this a parallel line maker, and that's what gives me the variety in the painting, and shows you one of the things you can do, one of the many things you can do with these little mottlers. Okay, so that's the one coming in. And this is the one you're going to see on the way out. And this is done much later. This is called Flamingo Land, and it was done on December the 24th, right, the day before Christmas. So we've been showing this regularly since the 25th of October, 3 times a week. I think we might have missed 2 days, one because of a power outage, and I forget what the reason for the other one is. So we are here 3 times a week to answer your questions and support the products in for any questions that you have, and so you can contact us live 3 times a week, and you can contact us, of course, through email and other things if you have other things that are going on. So this one, oops, which one? It's the 1.5 inch, and I can tell that because I know this line here that's underneath. At its widest point, it's at 1.5 inch. So you can see that. So I might try to reproduce this one today for you at speed. And it's also, the paint is mixed. I use only artist quality paints, and this one is a mixture of, is there something wrong? Quinacridone red. And I take my paints and I put them in these bottles just to make it easier for me to spread them. And a gold, so when I turn it this way, you can see the gold shimmer. And I've got it in a protective cover also, which gives you a little more shimmer than there actually is on it. But it does shimmer with the gold paint in there. So I'm going to just set these aside. I want to show you just a picture of where we're going with this program. Do you want to show them the new studio, Previn? Okay, so we're going to be going into a new studio probably when we get air conditioning in there, which may be a few weeks. But that's the new easel that I had made here in Mexico. And just as a reference to the Flamingo Land, we do live in Flamingo Land. We live in the north coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and we have flamingos flying by us all the time. So, well, several times a year, not all the time. Say, I don't know exactly the months or whatever, but we do have pictures of them flying over us. And this studio that I'm showing right now is looks out on palm trees and things like that. So we can't really have a studio without air conditioning. So that's just to let you know that everything we do now is pretty small on this one little table. And but shortly that's going to be changing. It won't all be large like that, but we'll continue to do both. So what I want to do now is just start demonstrating some of these tools. And I'm going to start demonstrating before I even talk about all of them, because you did see them in the promo. And so you saw that we have these things called mottlers, and we have these things called shapers, and the shapers come in sets. Okay, that's the yellow. That's okay. I just filled some of these so it wouldn't be so awkward for me. This one's quite liquid. And this part of it, I'm just going to show you, or I don't know what I'm going to show you, but I'm going to try and demonstrate some of the tools that we have here. Here's another one that I cut out, and it's not very even, and I like it that way. Okay. I love that color yellow. To wash them, as I'm going, I just use a damp cloth. I ordered these really inexpensive face cloths from Amazon and in a dark color, and they just stay damp, ready to do their thing there. Okay, let's see if we can do something with this beautiful. This is a phthalo blue. Ooh. Okay. And I want to demonstrate here where you can spread the paint. You can use these tools to spread the paint. I have a little bit of phthalo blue stuck in the middle there. And you can scrape away the paint. And make designs that way. And I think I'm going to put some red in here. Don't really need red, but I just feel like so I use them and I wipe. If I'm keeping up, I do wipe them clean each time, but I'm not always keeping up. So I'm going to spread this red straight across here and then down here. And I'll scrape through a little darker just to show that you can scrape the paint right off if you want to. And then you can lay it down. So here I've scraped off a very sort of purpley red, and because I've mixed with the yellow, when I laid it back down here, it's more like a scarlet red. So this is a way you can play with learning, you know, what colors your paints are going to do. And something with it, like a flat place like this, you can use it to inscribe, make your own special marks. And if the paint stays wet, which will, this is a butcher paper or freezer paper we're using. So it's got a plastic side. It's perfect for making these kinds of marks and having this kind of fun with it. So I seem to be a little more relaxed today than usual. So maybe we can actually get something out of this. So here's another one. This one I made with a hole punch, so I'm not, I don't really know what kind of a mark it's going to make. And, ooh, it's not too bad. It's very even. And you don't have to fill every corner either. It's just, I'm just playing here. So that gives you some kind of an idea of how you can, you know, just fool around and make something that you might keep or might throw away. This paint that's bubbling up there, it is a special paint I use, and I will be talking about it in the future because I will be able to give you links to buy it. It's a paint I like quite a lot. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's do another one. Today this seems to be a color I like. And the way I do this is I think of that initial lay down as, you know, part of the process, and everybody does this differently. This is not necessarily the way everybody would want to do it even. And I'm an abstract painter, so that's probably why my things are quite abstract. I have tried and will try again painting, you know, realistic things. I've got a little dog. I've got a painting of my dog on the go right now. What am I going to do here? Let's see. This is Payne's Gray, which is a nice black color. It's often used. I think I'll move it over a little bit. No, that's good there. I'll just paint in that direction. So Payne's Gray is, it's not black, but we use it for black on paintings because then it has, oops, because it's why do we use it? If you use real black, then it often feels like you've made a hole in your painting rather than, so I've just sort of made some sort of a modernistic triangle architectural type of thing there. So, so when I squeeze on the gold, it actually comes right off, and that's because the gold is not a color, it is a suspension of gold particles in a medium, and it is possible just to scrape it completely off when it's new like that. But if I just want to lay it down on the surface, I can do it this way, right now I've got it mixed a little bit with other paints. So, but this will dry and it'll look very gold, and it will have little blue spots in it and stuff like that. So there we go. I'm gonna maybe do something with that one too. I could try, no, I'm not gonna try one of those. Okay. So now I'm making those same funny little flag-like things that I made in that one over there. This one, I'm talking, when I say that one over there, I'm talking about the one with this one here. So it's just a mark that I've learned to make and I like to make. And here's the gold here. And once again, what I think I might do with that one is just, I made a couple of new these kind of things where I chop out the edge, and this time I bought a pair of those scissors. It looks like pinking shears. It's actually paper cutting shears, and I just want to see what kind of a mark it's going to make on something like this. And it should just scrape right to the bottom and leave marks in between, but we'll see. Oh yeah. So it doesn't, there. On the second one I got, oh yeah. Okay, I'm starting to get. So if I press hard, it will scrape out in between. If I just press lightly, it just leaves a rippled effect on the surface. So what'll happen if I go like this? Ooh. Okay, there. So endless fun. A few gobs of paint, and you can just really have a lot of fun doing this stuff. Ooh. So I'm just playing around. My favorite part of this one is actually the one I put in first. And I really had a lot of fun doing that part. I'm going to stop now because one of the rules I have is stop before you ruin it. Okay, I think I'm just going to put a bit of this in here because that is so dark and so different than anything else. I'm just going to put a little bit of color in there. Okay. That's two. And now I'm going to show you a picture. Have you got a picture of Marina there, Previn? This is a picture of my next, this is a picture of a painting of one of the artists that lives right next door to me. Her name is Marina, and she's 6 years old. I think she has a lot of promise because her cat, if we go back to the picture of the cat, Previn, you can see is, for a 6-year-old, this is a wonderful cuddly cat with all of the right things: paws, eyes, nose, whiskers, even a little tongue. And it looks very cuddly and warm. And to me, this is because she got a new kitten, and the kitten had stripes. So I saved this because I think of art as not so much something that I want to look at, though I love looking at stuff like this, but I think it gives me an idea of what Marina's world is like and how she sees her world. So I'm hoping that I will have an opportunity to see the work of some of the other people that are watching my show occasionally. I'd love to see work, and that's Marina.
You have a new follower, SJ?
Who?
SJ?
Okay, thanks for following, SJ. Welcome to our show. Okay, so I have a choice now. I think I will do one of these. So this is something that I've been playing with for a while. We started because I got inspired by this picture. This picture here on Camtasia had it in their library, and I thought, oh, we can do that. And this is one of the better ones that we did. And like that's how we're doing them now. But we started out by trying to figure out how to do it. And the first tool that we used was a little one that we've already used here a couple of times. It's called the Parallel Line Maker. So we started out with this little one to figure out how to make these lines. And we weren't using a special paper or anything. Eventually we started to use something called Yupo paper. And Yupo paper is normally white, and this one was white, but we did paint it black. The reason we use Yupo paper, because Yupo paper is archival, and the black looked basically like this when we painted it. And Yupo paper is a plastic paper, and you can, it's extremely smooth. And the other thing is it's archival. Unlike if we made it on the butcher's freezer paper, we wouldn't be able to market it or sell it. So that was the first attempt, and this was when we used. I'm trying to find the two things. Pretty good at this, but not perfect. So we noticed that they had a much wider brush than we had at that time. I only had this one, so I quickly made this little one, and we scraped through like this as best we could. And you know, it's jiggity jaggedy, and we had a hard time holding it together. So we knew very quickly that we had to make a bigger, better tool. And the bigger, better tool was this one. Oops, how can I show that? That's better, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see the jaggedy edges in there? So we cut through, and wherever it comes right to the end ends up being the dark part, because that's scraped through. And the other part ends up being gobs of gold. So that was, I'll get rid of this one right now. So that's our more advanced one. So we played around with that for a while to see if it was going to work. And look at that, it's starting to look pretty good. But we weren't using Yupo paper. So the first one we did with Yupo paper was this one. So all of a sudden, just by, practicing. Where is that other one? This was the one we saw originally. This is a picture of it. And we're starting to get there now. But the problem I had with this is that it's got these jaggedy edges. Obviously, the person doing it was not that well in control of the brush. So many ones and practices later, in which a lot of you got to watch, we smoothed it out. Okay, so we're still going straight down. We're going right off the page. It's smoother. And then the next step was this one, where we not only, we're starting to use the brush as an artistic tool. So now we sort of wiggle with it and make different kinds of lines. So I'm going to do one of these today, maybe two, because I'm ready to do them. I have the stuff available for that. I don't know where I'd put my black paper. Here's my black paper. Oh, I had it right here, right beside me. Okay, so it's a little messy, but it's kind of a lot of fun. And you can make quite nice, like These would probably make nice gifts, maybe, I don't know. This is one made with a dark blue background. You can't really see the blue, it looks black. On the side you can see the blue. But different sizes, and I purchased a few supports just to show people. And these are fairly good quality supports. So we're just going to play with one of those and show you how to do that. Oh, here's another one where we added red to the mixture, and you know, there's not so many background swirls. We played with it. We actually did the sides of it and stuff like that. So today I'm going to do one on this flat piece. And, okay, great. Oh. First thing you have to do is open the jar. So what I have here is pre-mixed gold. And it's not mostly the gold paint, it's mostly a gel that goes in behind it. So you may think, oh, you're using all that gold paint, it must be very expensive. But no, it's not really, because this is the gold paint pure. I'll just show it to you on here. And this is the gold paint that's it's almost like 90%. Oops. I'm wiping it off one side and bringing it out the other. Let's see. And I have to be very careful to clean these when I close them. Otherwise, the acrylic acts like a cement and I can't get into them. So just taking that extra bit of time there. Now it looks like I put an awful lot out. I actually have, but this is right out of the jar. This is like if I bought it, purchased out of the jar. This is mixed about 3/4 with a heavy gel. But the truth is, when this is dry, it'll look as good as this one, because this white stuff that's in here dries absolutely clear. So it dries really dark like this. And you can see even this one is not as dark a gold as what's on this surface. So you're not really wasting a lot of paint. I think I've put probably about twice as much on here as I really need. This little bit, it's not going to matter if I put a little bit extra there. So I'm going to just do what I normally do, and I may have to change my actually boards later because I have a feeling I'll either make two. I could make two because I've got enough out there to make two, and I've got these new surfaces that I could use. So sometimes, if the paint is a little older, you might get bits of gobs of previous things. The best thing to do is just pull them out, throw them away. Okay, I have way too much paint here. So I'm going to do two of them. I'm going to put half the paint on this board here. Now, these aren't board, they are they're a heavy card Yupo paper. So, but they're quite solid. They could be sent as postcards. They're like a postcard level. So as you can see, I still have lots on here, and I can still play with it. And what I like to do with this is to go right over the edges. Oops, I got lots there. I'm going to tilt it, put some more on that other one. So you can see I'm trying to be really smooth and not go like, go, oh yeah, no, I think it should turn here. No, I should. So it's almost like you have to
Push up a little bit.
push it up a little bit. Thank you. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's much more interesting if it sort of swirls around like you've just caught a huge swirl. At least I think it is. Oh, yeah, I like that. Actually, I like that quite a bit. Have I got it? I'm just going to check it. This will be the first one I've made quite like that. So I'm actually going to keep it because I like it. These heavy lines of gold there, they'll dry just like that because the paste in the gold is very firm, and it'll be okay to do that. So I've got to find a place here to put it down. Usually I have paper, plastic paper around to put it down. I'm going to reclaim this stuff that's on this board here. You're probably watching me right now. That's okay. So you can see right now I'm using one of these scrapers to one of the best uses is that if you have extra paint around, and this mixed up gel can keep for weeks, or I don't know. I've never had it. As long as there's a good cover on it, and there's no air getting in, you can keep it for months, as far as I can see. Because I've been at this for a while, and I haven't had any dry out or anything like that. So as long as it's kept moist, you can save it and keep it and reuse it. So it is worthwhile for me to pick it off the surface here, and notice how well the mottler works in getting it off the surface. I don't want to scrape the mottler. Well, I'll scrape it on that other board maybe, because I don't want to end up with it on a piece of cloth. I want it to end up on the other board. So here we go. Once more. And so, okay, set that all over there. I'm going to take this whole thing. Well, I could just take the top surface off and use. I don't want to put the new board back on the paint because then it'll have the paint all over the back. But here we go. So maybe this time I'll try and use.
Push it up a little bit.
Okay, just give me a second, okay? Is that better?
Yep.
A little better? Thank you. I got to get into the practice of checking it more while I'm doing it. We've always had a little bit of a. Before October, we'd never done anything like this. So we're still learning. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to spread this on here. I still think I have way too much. So I'm going to put it back in the jar. And if I'm worried about it having lumps, it's pretty easy for me to just put it through a strainer. I don't think there are lumps in there, so that's okay. Put that. See, now I'm washing the edge off before I put the lid on so that I can actually access it in the future. And now I'm going to try and get most of this off these. Okay. So you don't even have to really, you can play with this. You don't have to do it this way. And you might find much better ways to do it, actually. I'm just trying to get that stuff off there. So, and you can, for example, add colors to this, and that's what I think I will do. Oh, I know what color I have here. I have a new color. It's not a new color, but it's a color I mixed up myself, and it's just a mixture of phthalo blue and phthalo green. I'm not going to put too much in. And the reason I can add this color is because they're both transparent colors, and they won't affect the gold in there. You'll be able to see the colors. Oh, yeah. It looks kind of mucky right now. That's okay. Now you can see I can actually at this point go right through to the bottom. The tool will allow me to go right back to the surface. So I'm doing that to get some of this back on the surface. And you probably will, we'll sort of see what it's like by the end of this few minutes of what I'm going to be doing here. But we won't really know how shiny it's going to be or how intense it's going to be until it's dried completely, which is probably going to take at least till tomorrow. Well, for sure it'll be dried by tomorrow. Our house is quite moist here. We've got a lot of humidity, so we've had a few problems with that. So let's just see. This is a 1.5 inch. I'm thinking now of that one with the this is like a wet version. Oh, it's funny. When I'm doing some of this, sometimes my hand is faster than my brain. So I think, oh, she did that. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to go with that then. Instead, the hand did that. But I'm thinking a little bit about this one. I hope oh yeah, I've got plastic on it, so I don't have to worry about it. See, I'm thinking about those. I'm not so sure it'll work quite as well because it's kind of nice that where you scrape away is white, whereas on this, for sure, where you scrape away is, of course, black. But it's interesting. But that could be because I'm scraping away too much, but that doesn't mean I can't go back. And I can go like this. Am I going to like this? I don't know. I can go. One of the things okay, I'll tell you what I was thinking of. So this is typical of me. I've got a small piece here. I want to see what it looks like on a white piece of paper, so I'm just going to take some of this white piece of paper, and we'll do another one even after. Well, let me put this right there. We won't do that one right now, but we will do it after this, because I'm kind of curious as to see what will this color look like on white as opposed to what does it look like on black. And by just taking exactly the same color when I have too much of it, a little bit too much, I can actually do that. So what I'm going to do is, rather than make such a big swirl, I'm going to take a smaller brush, the smaller one, and I'm going to try and make the same movement and see if I can get more out of it. Maybe I'll even use this thing. Well, actually, I like that one. No, listen to me argue with myself. Let's try this. Okay. I don't think that was very successful. So I'm just going to spread it back. So that was my first thing was, oh, I'll use a smaller brush. And my second one is I will use one with a cutout. So, oh, that's nice. That's nicer. How can I get those areas in? We just not worry about them and then go back in and play with. Okay. I like that. Okay. Okay, maybe. Okay. Oh, no. We will do this instead. I got to lift it up and see what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to put a bit here and maybe a bit here. Maybe right across like that. So I'm just filling in some of the spaces. Mm-hmm. So I'm making some sorts of little marks in here to sort of see what's going to happen here. I might go like this, and like that, like that. So what these flat places are, they'll shine like a little flat penny or something like that. And so I've sort of got a background of some things, and I'm just doing this. I'm not even taking the time to try to be random. So let's see. Okay. So I'm just, I think part of the reason I did this is I knew there had to be more paint on it, because otherwise it's just going to be black. So the black is the background. And so we'll look at that tomorrow. And we'll put this over here. Okay. Now I'm going to take that one that has the white background, and we'll just put it right on that place. We're going to go over it. So it's still nice and wet. And it's a slightly smaller piece of paper. I don't know how it got in with my others, because all the papers are the same. I buy the Yupo paper by the case, and when I say by the case, I'm talking like 500 sheets. And I'm only halfway through my first sheet. So first case, maybe halfway through. I think I'm halfway through. Anyway, so let's try that same sort of thing with the little bit like, once again, I'm going back to this, this flamingo thing and seeing if I can do something with that. So let's see, I'm using the same size. Yes, I like that much better. And I'm still going to go through and do some of this. Oops, no, some of this. Some of this here. How much do I need? Not much. Okay. So we'll compare this with what we think of the other one. There's a couple of things about this I don't like, but I'm not going to fix them. So where do I put this? Okay, right back there. So once again, I could scrape this up and save this, but I'm just going to remove it and put it over here. I'm going to dump all my tools just to rest for a minute. Where am I? 12:47. So one of the things I thought I'd do today, I'm not sure whether I'm brave enough, but I thought I'd take something I didn't like. So this looks like this looks like one of these ones with it's like I tried to make a green flamingo or something. So I was thinking, I wondered what would happen if I just painted over it and just, played with that sort of thing. I have no idea what's going to happen. I know if I put red on the green, it should turn black. So let's just play with that. And so this could be like a reclaimed painting. There's not going to be much more going on there than the red, because if I mix the red with anything, it would be maybe yellow. I could, but I'm not going to do that right now. So here, let's see. Can we do this? Oh, we do have background. Oh, it's almost gone like it's red with a black background. That's kind of what I was hoping would happen. But it's almost too big to be all red.
Push it up a little bit.
Probably push it up a little bit. Thank you. It's good that this is my husband Preben, that's telling me the things that I have to do to make it look a little bit better, or push it up a little bit. So, see here, when I scrape through, see, I can decide how deeply I scrape through. I could decide to put yellow on the edges, but I don't know what that would do with it. Or would make it a pukier green, I think. Well, let's just see if I scrape right through. It's just, actually, that's better than it was. Ooh. So this is a way of playing with paint so that you can discover new things. Especially if you use a painting that you don't care about particularly. And I'm not fond of all green paintings. Anybody who's watched my show knows that. But I am fond of seeing what shows through when I'm doing something. So here I could do here's one of the new scrapers that I made, which I'm not very fond of either. See, that fights the background. This, just scraping it through a little more, might be better. No, it's still. I'm going to add some yellow to this side. Ooh. So even if this doesn't turn out, I've learned something, and it gives me it gives me some ideas of what to do at another time if something like that happens, or ideas of what not to do. Ooh, that's nice. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, it looks almost iridescent, some of it. Okay. So now I think I will do one of my baskety things. But I think I will choose, where's my 1 inch? No, 1 inch, okay. Okay, we will do it with, we could do it with those other things. Okay, let's see. Let's see this one. See. I think I'd like to put some more orange over there. And now what I'd like to do, I'll put some orange on my brush. I'm going to do my basket thing under. Oops, no, that's not going to work. So I'm thinking I like this better. It's certainly different. Oh, some Yeah, something needs to happen here. It's like I'm pulling through in sort of a very, let's say, irregular grid pattern. Very irregular. And so by waiting a little bit on some on some areas where I've got yellow on, and then pulling through later, the surface, it's moved on to the surface. So this is no longer just a green painting. This is a green and pink and yellow painting. Is it any better? I don't know. I'd have to look at it tomorrow, I think. I might like this a little better if I just went like, if I went through some of these things and sort of scrape through them again. I might like them better. I'm not sure. It's very confusing now. I'm going to play with it just a bit more. And it's sort of like a variety of glazes and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to leave that and look at it tomorrow. It might be one of those things I look at. I've got a couple of those where I look at them and say, well, okay. Well, here's one. Here's one. This one was not done on Yupo paper, but it had a very similar thing going on, as you can see. And I was actually trying to make it look like a Yupo paper drawing. And so it's a pretty color. But it's probably not going to be marketed or anything like that. That other one, it's, I don't know. Oops. So here we are. We've had, I'm trying to think of what I have to talk about here is, let's just play with this stuff. So I'm right now I'm on the background paper of the one we just did, just to show you. I didn't at all use any of these lovely tools here. And this is, where am I? I'm putting it up in front of the, okay. This is one of the shaper sets, and this is called the angle shaper. And all of this shows up online on our store and stuff like that. And it's shown much better than I'm showing you here. But it does tell you what the angle chisel does and what the flat chisel does. So they have all of these products outlined and explained right on our store. But this is where I would usually demonstrate them. We have so many products now, I can't possibly demonstrate all of them. But